Hello guys, we are going to talk about a fantasy thriller film called The Watchers from 2024. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. The movie begins with a girl named Mina. She works in a pet shop and is given the task of delivering a purebred parrot to a customer. After bringing the bird home, Mina grieves over the death of her mother, which happened exactly 15 years ago. She puts on a dark-colored mourning wig and goes to a bar where she meets some guys, convinced that they won't like her. In the morning, Mina starts transporting the bird. They travel through picturesque Irish landscapes. Conversations with herself and messages from her sister about her mother's anniversary, Wake, fill her time. Busy with such important matters, Mina does not notice the many announcements about missing tourists in these parts. The navigator leads the girl to the forest wilderness, where the road looks quite strange, the mobile connection is lost, and the radio transmits only interference. There, according to the old movie tradition, her car stalls. Noticing a sign nearby that reads, "Point of no return," Mina takes the cage and goes to check out who lives nearby. After changing her mind, she wants to go back to the car, but she completely loses her bearings. Mina sees a flock of birds flying through the forest and then notices a woman running, ignoring her cries for help. Chasing her, Mina arrives at a small house that looks like a bunker. Stopping at the entrance, the woman tells her to run faster if she wants to survive and starts a countdown. As soon as Mina runs inside, the woman locks the door. There are 3 people inside: the gray-haired Madeline, the girl Sierra, and the boy Daniel. Without explaining what is happening, the locals put the newcomer with them in front of a mirrored wall. They tell her that the Watchers are coming. They can't enter the building and won't do anything to them, only watch people through the one-way mirror glass, coming every evening at nightfall and disappearing at dawn. Mina is asked to come forward so that the mysterious Watchers can evaluate the newcomer. In the morning, when the mirrored wall becomes just a window, the bunker door opens, and Mina takes the bird and leaves. The others, knowing that she is unlikely to get out, easily let her go. Wandering through the forest, Mina sees a figure among the trees, from which she tries to escape. When she comes to a cliff, she sees an endless forest stretching around her. Soon, Madeline finds the tired Mina. The woman tells her that they all tried to get out of the forest, but to no avail. A long stay in it causes hallucinations. There are signs along the perimeter that read, "Point of no return." It takes about 6 hours to get to the shelter, and there is a chance of not making it back before dark. In the evening, Sierra dances for the Watchers while others watch an old DVD. In the morning, people go to gather supplies in the forest. Mina goes with Kiara, who tells them about her husband, who left for help 6 days ago. She warns the newcomer that seeing the Watchers in person would be like going crazy. Sierra shows Mina one of the holes leading to the underground caves where the Watchers hide during the day. It turns out that she and her husband entered the bunker about 5 months ago. Later, the residents explain the rules to Mina. Do not turn away from the mirror, do not open the door at night, always stay close, and do not go near the pits in the forest. The newcomer has already broken the last rule, and she was not punished for it. In the evening, Mina taps her fingers on the mirror and puts her ear to hear what is happening outside. With no result, she goes to bed, but immediately hears a knock from the outside. Madeline tells her not to move and to let it be seen. In the afternoon, she goes with Daniel to the forest to check for traps. While walking, she notices a strange human figure in the forest fog. Daniel has been here for 8 months. Mina begins to doubt the truthfulness of the rules Madeline has set up, and she does not trust the old woman. She looks for like-minded people and takes Daniel to the hole to help her down the rope. There, she finds some junk, a newspaper from April 1992, a video camera, a child's toy, and a rusty bicycle. Mina pulls out the bicycle with the rope. As she waits for Daniel to drop the rope, she hears a voice asking what she is doing here. A hand sticks out of the darkness, but immediately disappears, allowing Mina to get out. Showing the findings to the others, Mina lies that she found them in the forest, not in the hole where she saw the dungeon dweller. The experienced Madeline is not so easily fooled, and the old woman realizes that the girl is lying. Daniel connects the camera to the TV, and in the evening they set it up near the vault to see the Watchers. But instead, John, Sierra's husband, knocks on the door. Madeline refuses to let him in, believing it to be a trap. To dispel her doubts, the woman invites Kiara to test him by asking him something that only he knows. John fails the test, but when his wife asks him to show his face to the camera, he leans towards the lens, and it seems that it is really him. However, Kiara doesn't have time to open the door because something abruptly pulls him away, and at the same time the camera disappears, depriving people of an external view. Madeline orders everyone to line up in front of the mirror, which is cracked by the impact. The Watchers express their displeasure. In the morning, Mina and the others go to the hole to dump the things they found. Suddenly, Mina has a flashback to her childhood, when she was capricious during a family trip. Her mother was distracted by her daughter. which led to a fatal accident. Now Mina blames herself for her mother's death and is afraid to talk to her sister, who saw it all. In her free time, the girl explores the forest, making a map of the neighborhood with landmarks. She records the knowledge she gained on the floor of her shelter. One day, Mina notices that Sierra went to the hole shortly before dark because she misses her husband and wants to jump down. The girls are distracted from their sad thoughts by Madeline's scream. Daniel has attacked her and tied her up to leave her in the woods for the night. Daniel runs away, Sierra runs after him, and Mina stays to untie the woman. When they get to the bunker, they see the door closed. Daniel locks himself inside and does not want to let them in. Realizing that there is no way to convince him, Madeline leads the girl to a hiding place in front of the bunker. Daniel and Sierra stand in front of a mirror, waiting for the watchers. While hiding in the hiding place, Madeline and Mina see terrifying creatures emerge from the forest. They stop near the trees, watching through the window in the bunker, where only 2 people are visible instead of the usual 4. After carefully counting the people, the monsters run through the forest to look for the missing ones. Seizing the moment, Madeline and Mina run to the door and convince Daniel to break the rules and let them in. Mina tells him about her mother's death, which was her fault, to gain his trust and put pressure on his emotions. It works, and they are let in. Madeline realizes that breaking the rules has consequences and orders them to line up in front of the mirror. She says that she has been hiding unpleasant information from others. Studying mythology, Madeline voluntarily came to this forest and encountered fairies, real ancient creatures who copy human behavior. That's why they watch people through glass to adopt their habits. In confirmation of her words, there is a knock on the door, and then Sierra's voice outside repeats the dialogue with her husband that took place recently. This is followed by the voices of the other people present, repeating various phrases they heard. Suspecting that the watchers want to break down the door, the people prop up the door with a table. After rearranging the furniture, the prisoners notice a lid in the floor. After breaking the bolts, Daniel finds a hatch with a ladder down. Mina climbs down the ladder, and the others follow, closing the lid just before the watchers break the mirrored wall. The stairs lead the fugitives to a laboratory that looks like a bomb shelter. Whoever lived here was studying the watchers. Mina sees a working computer where the professor's videos are stored. The scientist tells not only about how he studied the watchers, but also about how he built a fortified bunker by hiring poor workers from different cities and sacrificing them to the monsters outside. The professor managed to catch one of these creatures in a cage. Mina opens the last video and learns that the scientist got used to the captive fairy and then decided to kill it. In the end, the professor says that he left a boat by the river, and the only way to get out of the forest is to follow the bird's movement. If he succeeds, he asks to destroy his research remaining at the university. The people decide to hit the road in the morning. Sierra decides to celebrate the last night in captivity with a dance and invites Daniel. During the dance, he tells about his abusive father who used to beat him, and he ran away from home, thus ending up in the forest. In the morning, the prisoners go upstairs. The building is destroyed, the glass is broken, the doors are kicked in. Realizing that there is no point in staying here any longer, the people set off. They follow the marks that Mina left while making the map. Along the way, Madeline reminds them that the forest will try to deceive them, so they need to be careful. Soon they reach the right signpost. Mina lets a parrot out of its cage to show them the way with its bird's eye view. The bird flies forward, leading the people. They reach a stone burial ground with a picture of fairies. Madeline recalls a historical legend where monsters lost a war with humans and remained captive in this forest. The walk becomes unpleasant when it starts to rain. They meet a flock of birds flying from the dangerous forest. It is getting dark, and the fairies come out of their holes. The people reach the riverbank and find the boat left by the professor. They run to it, but Daniel hears John's voice asking for help. The women do not notice that the young man has stopped. He pulls the wounded John out of the forest, who is actually a fairy who has taken on John's face. The monster eliminates Daniel in front of the women, who leave in a boat. Looking back, they see dozens of other creatures emerge from the forest, horrified by their unnaturalness and displeased with their lost prey. The boat sails all night on the river. When Mina wakes up in the morning, she sees a bus traveling down the road. While waiting for the next bus, the women ask for a ride. They still do not believe that they have managed to escape. Even the parrot is back in its cage. When Mina gets home, she takes a shower and reminisces about the past. The next day, Mina goes to the university, introducing herself as a professor's niece. She collects his tapes. On one of the tapes, the scientist tells her that in addition to pure-blooded fairies, there were half-breeds born of humans. They could also change their appearance and even pretend to be inanimate objects. Looking at the photos, the girl notices something that surprises her. In the evening, Mina goes to visit Sierra, showing her an old photo of the professor dancing with his wife Madeline, who died long before the bunker was built. Mina believes that the Madeline they know is a fairy immune to sunlight. When the real Sierra appears, it turns out that Mina was talking to a disguised Madeline. The observer stuns Kiera and assumes Mina's face, intending to take her identity. The girl convinces her that she is not just a fairy, but a human hybrid, so she can withstand sunlight and has a tendency to compassion. That is why the other monsters do not accept her as one of their own. After being persuaded, the observer unwittingly changes shape, grows the long-lost wings of her people, and flies away. After that, Mina reconciles with her sister, telling her everything that happened. She confesses that she believes Madeline has been secretly taking care of her by changing her appearance. Meanwhile, a girl can be seen under her house. Madeline, like her relatives, is watching Mina.